Dear Space Force, where do we sign up? How do you start boot camp, but you don't have a single recruiting center? Please, the egg before the chicken before the egg. I'm not even sure how this is working. Please, just inform the public how we can do this. What is up, guys? You're tuning into NickyMGTV for another video. As always, you can hit me up on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, or down in the comments below if you do have questions. Always make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, notification bell, all that good stuff. It does help come back to the channel and do these kinds of things. So I appreciate the people that do come back because a significant amount of you guys are not subscribed. But going forward, boot camp for the Air Force has started.
No, God! No, God, please, no! No!
I meant Space Force. Before this, we were told May time, it was just people from the Air Force that were going to come over, and that was it. And now we're sitting here, and they're like, oh, yeah, we got some new applicants for boot camp. And I'm like, how do you have new boot camp applicants? How? You haven't even made a commercial, Space Force. Okay, so you hyped it up. You made a stupid show that no one cares about anymore. And then third, we're sitting here like, we all want to do this thing. We all want to be Buzz Lightyear. We all want to try this thing out, but you're not giving us any avenues to do so. But you have boot camp happening. And supposedly, they're going to be graduating in December of this year. And this just brings a lot of questions with it, and I know you guys have them. There's very few that are going to be answered from the articles that have been posted about this, and that is the unfortunate truth as we creak our way down this road of finally making a whole nother branch. I don't know how the Air Force got out of the Army so quick. I don't know. Maybe we think it's quick, but man, I'm really looking forward to how we can get people to cross over. I would even be interested, to be honest with you. Probably not going to happen, but that is what it is. But anyway, looking at this, there are a few distinct differences that are going to be happening, but they are going to still attend, quotations, Air Force boot camp, but it's really Space Force, and there are minor differences that you're going to see. So it looks like Chief Master Sergeant Toberman is the one that has made a couple of different comments, and he's saying it's important that we distinguish the difference, even though they are going to Air Force boot camp, that they are technically going to be Space Force. One of those things being their uniforms and obviously the blue name tapes versus the more coyote brown looking name tapes, which, okay, sure, that's a little bit different. The pattern's not much different, but I can appreciate that. We're trying to save money. We're trying to be more appropriate with our tax dollars to make sure we're not just changing uniforms all the time. And then I think eventually we may end up with one uniservice type uniform anyway, but at least they are showing that this can work. They're saying that the boot camp is going to be 8.5 weeks, and they have loaded up tablets. I love tablets. I think they're quotations great ideas, but they're in practicality not great ideas. I've done this with training with paper stuff, and then I went to a training where we did tablets, and we couldn't take them to the field with us when we were in environments that were more dangerous or we could damage them. So paper, I think, is still the best, but they said that they are doing this to teach them or give them a heads up of what the Space Force is. And I'm like, I think even the American public right now is trying to figure out, what is the Space Force? We keep hearing stuff is going on, but there's no connection with the regular military. There's no connection with the regular human people that are trying to even do this. To be fair, there are people that have graduated from the Air Force Academy. If you guys don't know, that is located over in Colorado, near Colorado Springs. Really great campus over there. But anyway, looking at this, yes, we've accepted new people. That one makes sense because it's coming from the Air Force. Air Force is splitting off. Okay, and the people that are already in the Air Force can still switch over, or they did already apply to switch over. There are a few people. There is an Air Force, I should say now Space Force YouTuber that is out there in Hawaii right now that has actually been making videos. Not really about the Space Force itself, because it sounds like he's kind of doing the same thing, just a different branch, and maybe they're still trying to figure things out. I wish he would actually make content covering more of this, because I think maybe we would have a lot less questions, or maybe they just tell them not to talk about it. But looking at this, I have to say, they are saying that there will eventually be a different version of Space Force Boot Camp. Does that mean it will be in a different location? They haven't confirmed that. They said it could be that. But also, I'm looking forward to how are they going to have the trainees, or they call them drill instructors, drill sergeants, recruit division commanders, whatever they want to call them. Because you got to realize all of the history, all of the ceremonies, all of that stuff that is tied to the Air Force, they're trying to make their entirely new thing. And how do you do that for literally a branch which is dealing with something that has no historical background. Like, no one has ever looked at the Air Force and said there is a, space component or space type jobs within the Air Force, that they have these niche, types of ceremonies or these niche types of quirks and features that they go by. I think they're going to have a long time before they figure that out. Obviously, I think when you looked at the Air Force splitting off from the Army, obviously it made sense. Air, land. All right, pretty basic. Whereas we're talking about space, you're also talking intelligence, which you have to be fair with that as well. But the last part of this I'm going to touch on that's going to differentiate them between the Air Force and Space Force is there are going to be 20 hours of instruction, which means boredom. I've just got to be honest, of them learning about the Space Force and knowing that they're not part of the Air Force, even though everything else has been Air Force. I'm sorry, but out of 8.5 weeks, let's calculate that real quick. How many hours that is, you're looking at a pretty small significant part. So we'll say 7 times 8.5 gives you 56 days times 24 hours, 1344. 20 divided by 1344 times 100. 1.4% of their entire time in boot camp will be contributed to them being in the Space Force. That's about it, and they have different name tapes. So I don't know if you guys are as eager as I am to see the different things that we could do with the Space Force and where it's going to end up, but I'm truthfully looking forward to us having the possibility of even being able to apply for the Space Force, or you guys that are coming in fresh off the street and your ability to come into the Space Force. And if you're a veteran, as well, what do you guys think about the Space Force in general? Because obviously we're seeing new changes happen over and over and over again as we are slowly rolling this out. But I look forward to your guys' thoughts, and if you guys do have questions, you can always hit me up on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, or down in the comments below. I love you guys. I'll see you next time.